And my last Matterhorn moment was something called GVHD, graft versus host disease. And this is advanced science. Whether you get a liver transplant, a heart transplant, kidney transplant, bone marrow is an organ just like anything else. Though it's not classified as an organ, it's an organ. Your host, your donor is going to fight you, right? That donor inside of you is going to fight you. And the standard protocol is to turn off the fight. That's the standard protocol in medicine today, is that doctors will turn off the donor from fighting you. We did not. Dr. Levis at Hopkins believes, and he's the AML expert, that you want your donor to fight you. How long? We don't know, right? But we want the donor to fight you. We don't want the donor to kill you. We want the donor to fight you. And that fight is, sure, every modern test today says you're in remission. Every modern test, as low as it can go, cannot find the disease. But in the 1/100th of a chance that there is a leukemic cell still hiding somewhere, or there's an in-tandem duplication that we haven't found, let's have the donor fight it. And that fight of graft versus host disease may be the magic trick of the next generation protocol to solve leukemia. So we let the donor fight me. And it was not fun. It wasn't fun. And you get rashes, you get some liver functions, and with dials, we controlled the fight. We've dialed the fight back, right? And we do just a little bit of fight. That which could kill you, we think actually cures you. But it was sort of a moment for me of having the donor, just like in any other transplant, fight you. And we dialed it up, and then we dialed it back, and we kind of found the natural level. And even today, and though you can't see or probably, and I don't even notice anymore, we're still going to let that donor fight me just a little bit. And there'll become some point, probably when I get revaccinated, we'll just turn the donor fight off. And you can do that with certain medications. But this new protocol, this path we're trying to brave, may just be one of the tools that really kicks this thing into permanent cure for a lot of people. So it all leads to two events. And I bring you back to chimera. The actual test is called a chimera test. And that's why I picked it as a mascot, where after all the chemo, after all the hypomethylating treatments, after the transplant, did it all work? And are you 100% donor, right? The transplant could kill you. The transplant may fail. The engraftment may fail. Maybe you're 50-50 you donor, right? The success test is, are you 100% donor? And I became 100% donor. In fact, my blood type changed. I used to be O positive. And after the finishing of the treatment, I'm A negative. So my donor must be A negative, right? Because my blood type changed. And here's a lesson for software engineers. Do you know I won't call out the software company by name, but the software of choice for hospitals do not let you change a patient's blood type. The field is uneditable because blood types don't change. So in my medical notes, it reads O positive because you can't edit that. So please, software engineers, make sure all fields are editable. But in the hospital software of choice, you cannot change a blood type. So I'll wear a little necklace that actually calls out my blood type, but all the systems read O positive. I'm now A negative. And then finally, it's the biopsy, and it's a complete molecular remission. So we got to complete success through that journey. Thank you. And the business of medicine. This is a little older. This is about a month old. I don't talk politics. I'm for good policy. I'm a libertarian. You can call me a blue dog Democrat. I believe in fair taxes, strong military, social justice, human dignity, right? And I don't know what party you kind of put that in. I believe in freedom of the individual in a lot of ways. And say what you may about Obama, and say what you may about America, but I believe great nations do great things for their citizens. And this is a great nation. And great nations do great things for their citizens. And healthcare is a right. It's not a privilege. And I don't get the debate. Obama, it's like Obama went from 0 to 1. He went from not covering Americans to covering Americans. And it's flawed. It needs work. Social Security took 4 versions to get right. But we went from 0 to 1, right? And healthcare is a right. This disease has cost about $3.8 million to fight. This says about 3.4. $3.8 million. Majority of the expense was pharmaceuticals. This is just pulled off my healthcare provider's website. And I had an experience. There's no executive line when you're in chemotherapy, right? And there shouldn't be. I sit on the bench like everybody else for my treatment. And one day I'm sitting next to someone, and he's on the phone, crying, speaking to his wife, going, I don't know how I'm going to pay for this. I don't have enough gas money. I don't know how I'm going to get home, but I'm going to get through the treatment, and I'll call you later. Sitting right next to me. And healthcare is a right and not a privilege. And there's a whole business side to this that's rather disgusting, actually, that I'm much more dialed into. My journey by the numbers, and I have a couple final remarks. Through this, when you kill your bone marrow, you do that through radiation and some chemo. So I glow in the dark. I've had about equivalent to 3,000 checks X-rays. I've had 67 injections of chemo, 36 bags of blood. I've actually had to take 19 bags of platelets. Actually, I've lost my immune system 7 times. 5 biopsies, 4 Matterhorn moments. I've lost my hair twice through this. I'll be back. It's coming back thicker and curly, so we'll see what it looks like come January. I've had 1 spinal tap, and that wasn't fun, actually. I think they go between disc 6 and 7. They stick a needle in, they take out some spinal fluid. It's the same fluid that goes around your brain. So when you go down, a little bit, you can get headaches. I did fairly well with that, but it just was an awful feeling getting that needle in your spine, in the spinal tap. How many saw the movie Spinal Tap? The movie's much more fun than the procedure. And missed days of work, 0. I was very centered on staying connected to what I loved. And find your centering in that difficult moment of what really guides you through your difficult journey. For me, it was my family at OpenText. And I'm running a little behind here.